check out the GED section. If you guys aren't familiar, that is D.L. Hughley's show. The comedian. He's got a drive time radio show. Oh boy. Hey, all right. He's got a drive time radio show that he also posts on YouTube. Here it is.
That was Biggie Juicy. I have realized that almost every single freedom that we enjoy have been fought for over the protest of angry, red-faced white folks. Everything
Well, no argument.
that we enjoy now has been over the protest of angry, red-faced white people. People who were certain that their freedoms were being infringed on, or that it would change their lives, or why do we want to do this? Everything, and I mean everything, from actually being free, to reading, to where we could live, to where we could, how many of us could gather, to where we could worship, to where we could use the bathroom. Like literally, what is going on? What is so sacred about bathrooms that that's one of the first thing they write laws about to protect? If it isn't black
weird.
people now, it's
Yeah.
what's going on in the bathroom that is so important that they feel the need to immediately converge on the bathroom? But literally every freedom we now enjoy, somebody was angry about it, from the most innocuous to the most grand. Everyone. If you wear your hair too long, you're militant. If you wear your hair too short, there's something wrong. If you wear your hair in braids, who wants to live to tell somebody how to wear their hair, or where they can live, and if they can vote, or if they can live next to somebody, or where they can work, or where they can go to school, or how much they can learn, or who they can learn about? Every single freedom we enjoy has been over the protest of angry, red-faced white dudes. Every time. What we can do literally with our bodies. If we're too loud, we're uppity. If we're too quiet, we're planning something. Everything. Who wants to control all of those things? Where we can travel, when we can't. Where we can, all of those things. Who can vote for? What times we can vote? Where the places that we can vote are? What can happen while we're waiting to vote? These people do these things while extolling the virtues of freedom.
So here's what bums me out. He's correct. The angry, red-faced white dude, as he describes it. What concerns me is that I'm not sure that is the con man, but rather the conned. I mean, that's my thought. Is that it is the person who got conned is the angry, red-faced white dude. And the color, to reference Murdoch here, that concerns me is green. People that have too much of it. Riling up those angry, red-faced white dudes in order to make us fight each other. It's white dude versus, white dudes that give a damn about other people, in my opinion, and everybody else. But it can't be denied. I mean, come on. Can't be denied. That's the group. Those are the people that fall for the grift. I think those are the people that were targeted for the grift because it was the biggest political faction early on. Back when only white dudes could vote, of course, that's what everybody was going for because that's where power was. And as other people's power expanded and things evened out a little bit, became the focus of one political party to just keep doubling down on the lies that appealed to angry, red-faced white dudes. And unfortunately, I mean, the lies that have been used to get their vote and to get them to do terrorist activities and to get them to do this and that. The lies have become, since they've been around for a couple of 100 years now, a whole culture. A whole culture of basically just being an asshole has built up. What do I mean? I mean thinking it's okay to show up with a gun to a protest. If you think that is okay, you're an asshole. Great news is you can immediately not be one. And I know, no insults. I apologize. I'm trying to make a point. There are people for whom they wouldn't even consider that, whether or not it is wrong to bring a gun to a protest. Here's why it's wrong. Unless you are specifically protesting for your Second Amendment or against regarding the topic of guns, then to bring a gun to a protest suggests that you will use violence to get your way. That is terrorism. The threat of violence to achieve a political goal. That's terrorism. Specifically, if it's not directly related to the target. That's what makes it terrorism. But, I mean, in its spirit, it's the same thing. It's coercion. You're trying to get your way through despicable means. If you're showing up with a gun to a protest, you're saying that you will use less than peaceful means or other means beyond peaceful means. It's wrong. There's a whole culture of people that think it's fine. There's a whole culture of people in the USA who believe that it's okay to decide between which groups of people survive. There's a whole culture of people that think that the way things ought to be is that some classes, some demographics get hit first with the worst of anything in America, with the worst of American life. If it's poverty, if it's crime, if it's drug addiction, life expectancy. They think it's natural in their shitty culture that people other than their demographic should get hit first regularly. Now, I understand there's got to be somebody first in every one of those things. There's got to be somebody that's got it worst. That's just how life works. My problem is when it's the same group over and over and over and over again. And I think that if that culture that was invented, frankly, by dishonest politicians, if that culture and the members of it thought about it for just 2 minutes, they would also not be okay with that. What are we going to do about it, folks? I'll tell you, over the last month or so, in fact, the invention of Friday Peace Talks, to try to, at the very least, come to an understanding with that culture, at least agree upon what reality is. And I'm asking you, you got the guts to listen to this. I'm asking you to respond to D.L. Hughley here, because he makes the point, a little harsh, but he makes the point that I'd like you to see. And that is what Peace Talks is all about. This piece by D.L. Hughley, we're going to keep going.
They want to tell you, like even the place that yell freedom the loudest, try getting a drink on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Try smoking weed. Try really exercising any freedom other than God or church. I mean, God or guns. And speaking of freedom, you only have the real freedom to worship the God they say is okay. Try not believing God or believing in a God that's different from theirs.
True. Here's a fun thing. When I was young, and eventually I realized this was not cool to do for various ethical reasons, but hey, I didn't really think about it. When I was young, I lived in a very Christian community, and it was just exhausting to stick up for my rights. I felt a moral obligation to, because if I was tired, I knew that there would be some other kid, if not in that very classroom or wherever place that I was, cool kid party, Dungeons and Dragons group, that was also tired. But it got exhausting to constantly be like, I don't actually believe in God, and I'm going to insist that you respect that, or yada, yada, yada. Or if people wanted me to say grace or whatever. It wasn't an insult. In fact, to be invited to say grace is flattering. It's kind. It's nice. It's an honor. But I don't know how to say grace, or I certainly didn't then, because it wasn't part of my life. I was a young, non-spiritual kid, or non-religious. Yet I would find myself saying I was Jewish, because the Christians of my area understood that there was something wrong with being bigoted against somebody's religious beliefs. Or rather, I'm going to take out the word bigoted, because that's very charged here, and I don't think that's really what we're talking about. Being disrespectful of somebody's religious beliefs, if it was a different religion that the person believed in. In other words, they understood that if there was if they had a Muslim kid in their class, they couldn't be like, your God isn't real, my God is the real God. Even if that's what they felt, they knew it wasn't cool to say it. Basic manners. Just like, because they would know that the Muslim kid thought the same thing, but they had to get along somehow, and that's how they did it. But the thing is, if you say, I don't believe in any God at all, then they feel like, whoa, great. This is the kind of person my pastor told me it's my duty to harass. This is the kind of person my pastor told me that I specifically shouldn't respect their religious beliefs. And I don't have to worry about respecting anything, because they don't have religious beliefs. So now the whole afternoon is going to be talking about the things I believe. And if you want to know why there's like a run-on joke amongst atheists that we tend to read the Bible way more than people who follow the Bible as like a guide for life, it's from stuff like that. Because you will not have your religious beliefs respected if your belief is that there is no God, even though it's every bit as deserving of respect. And so you read up so you know what you're talking about when you are inevitably asked to explain yourself. And again, D.L. Hughley nails it. I'm telling you, I have had a D.L. Hughley revival since I last watched him in the early 2000s. Love it, because he's right. These people that say they are for freedom of religion are actually staunchly against it. Staunchly against it. They are not for freedom of religion. They are for a state religion, generally speaking. If not outright, then with a rule set that makes one religion acceptable. Case in point, if you want to see it demonstrated, look at the Satan Club that got started in a school that recently, I think, allowed a Christian club to be sponsored by the school. The very parents that were out protesting to allow there to be a Christian club in the school were out protesting against the Satan Club, because they don't care about freedom of religion. They care about promoting their religion. And I find, and if you disagree, Tell me why. Say your piece. But they don't care, in my opinion, about the things that they say they do. They're lying, in other words. And if you have to lie to make your case, my argument to you is that not a good case, and you know it. And if you know it's not a good case, why are you behind it? Why do you support it? Not the religion. The political views the followers of this religion are asking you to take. There's plenty of things other atheists say that I don't feel obligated to be on board with. And in fact, there are plenty of Christians that disagree with each other. And this meshing of politics and religion, this is a new thing. And you got to kill that, because otherwise you're going to wind up with Pope Trump. That ain't good for anybody.
Every single freedom we have has been over the protest of angry, red-faced white people. And they're angry about everything. Who's angry about learning history? Who's angry about the way you wear your hair? You can't get angry about the way you celebrate. Why is he celebrating like that after a touchdown? Every single aspect of our lives, every single freedom we enjoy has been over the behest of angry, red-faced white people.
Over the protest is what he meant to say. Let's read some comments while we're pausing it. Yeah, it's Friday. Peace Talk's doing a little different, having a lot of fun. Somebody take a whack at sharing that sheet, sharing a link in that sheet. I have no idea if it'll work, but I've pinned a comment in the section here, in the chat. That's what it's called. Full disclosure, your old pal Jake drank quite a lot on the last stream, and it was fun. But oh my God, my liver doesn't remember how much we used to drink and wasn't ready for it. That's like a boxer who's retired, who's surprised to find he doesn't have the pepper anymore. Anyway, take a whack at using that link. It's to a Google Sheets, a public Google Sheets, so that you can edit it. Let's make sure that's true. General access. God damn. Okay. Theoretic. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Just now, anybody who has the link can edit this document, not just view it, but can edit it. That means, in theory, you can share a link in that sheet. Take a whack at it. Let me know if it works. Foxy Dragon says, I'm late. Foxy, you're never late. You are always just in time. It's good to see you, my friend. Catherine Wolf says Foxy Dragon says, isn't it an insult if it's true? Ha. Fair enough. Catherine Wolf says, damn, I'll catch up. No worries. Rex Trek says, religion made me an atheist. And Andrew Woznicki says, same here, Rex Trek. Yeah, I was undecided about religion until I went to Catholic school. And then I was like, oh, I'm for sure an atheist. Yeah. It's a hell of a phenomenon, man. All right, let's let my man D.L. Hughley finish up. By the way, he looks way cooler as an old man than he ever did as a young man. It's got to be said.
About the most innocuous things. Where you can live, what you can drive, when you can drive, how you can drive.
Yep.
Where you can shop. How long you can be there. Where you can buy a house. What that house is going to be worth. All of it, every single aspect, has been over the protest of angry white people. Where you can go to school, where your children can go to school, what buses you can ride, what routes.
The one thing that concerns me is that he has yet to clarify where it comes from, what the source of this is. He's suggesting, and this is where we disagree, and I'm not even sure it's the point that he's trying to make, But if he's trying to make a different point, he's doing it badly enough that this needs to be addressed. He is suggesting that the angry, red-faced white people are the source of that. Yes, they are the soldiers, so to speak. I mean, he's right about them being the ones that are doing this. Yes, they are the hands that are covered in blood. But what sent those hands out? That's more important. Because if we managed to somehow nullify the angry, red-faced white people from the conversation, if those people all of a sudden said, you know what, never mind, we've been invited to Canada, we've been talking a little bit behind your back, and we're moving to Canada. I'm sorry, but we're just not happy with you anymore. And then all whites go to Canada. The problem won't go away. Angry, red-faced white people will be replaced by the next most gullible group that will fill that role. And I'd like to hear him address who's sending those folks out. Why is it you have religious leaders, for example, riling people up with racist rhetoric? Why is it you have far-right politicians doing the same thing? When those bathrooms were at odds, who started saying that black people need to have different bathrooms? Or nowadays, trans people aren't allowed to be in our bathrooms. They're going to touch our kids. Who starts saying that? I want to hear him address that. I'll tell you who it is from my perspective. It's the wealthy. It's wealthy people who need voters distracted and more than anything, fighting each other, at odds with each other over nonsense issues that they make a huge deal about, so that, number one, we don't have the energy to learn about or be active against their unjust acquisition of wealth. It's what makes your boss a billionaire instead of a millionaire. And number two, that doesn't even matter. That's really just it. Those are the people. I mean, if you take away that, 99% of our problems go away. Your old pal Jake can retire. Let's do that. Keep it simple, for God's sake. I would like to hear D.L. Hughley discuss that, and I hope that he is not falling for the idea that these poisonous ideologies originate with the person who's carrying them out. Because if that's what he's saying, then he has missed a crucial part of the conversation, which means that we're going to be doomed to have this fight for another 100 years. Because we've been having this argument since 1863.
They can have.
Before that, even, frankly.
How much insurance you can have. What you can buy. All of it. And all by people who always extol the virtues of freedom. And they have these proud stories. My great-grandfather fought so you could have this freedom that I now am taking from you.
Yeah.
Freedom is not an innocuous thing. Either you have it or you do not. And it's a ridiculous notion to believe that some people have the power to give you a freedom that was already yours anyway. Every single thing that we enjoy now has been over the protests of angry, red-faced white people. All of the time. Everything, the most innocuous thing. This is the thing that's funny. If freedom is the gift that you say you is, why don't you give it more freely? If freedom is the gift that you are willing to die for and kill for and write documents about and extol the virtues of, why are you so reticent to let anyone else have it? If freedom is so great, let someone else actually enjoy it. Let somebody else always enjoy the virtues of freedom that you extol so much.
Brother Hughley, hell yes. Oofa doofa, we're going to, 1 second here. We're going to just switch her back to a reasonable setup. Christ, let's jump over. First of all, we need a word that is not as loaded as comrade. We need a more Americanized word than that. I kind of like brother. but I don't want to steal it from the brothers. Let's think about that. Do you guys have a word that works for that? I kind of like brother, but then also, I don't know. Brother, sister, it's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm so on that D.L. Hughley clip. Normally, I feel like he knocks it out of the park, and I feel like, it wasn't a walk-off home run, but it was a home run. He almost had it, but then he failed to address the source, which is unfortunate. But there's still value in what he was saying. I mean, the value I see in D.L. Hughley right there, busting it out like that, and just saying, look, there is a demographic that is constantly at the source of America's woes, causing problems. He didn't even mention a lot that he could have. For example, the pro-Hitler movement in the 1930s. Again, angry, red-faced white dudes. The anti-labor movement. Angry, red-faced white dudes. Interestingly enough, the pro-labor movement in the 20s was also angry, red-faced white dudes with everybody else. That was like an equal split, but nonetheless, they're at the source of these problems time and time again. It's good. There is value in him saying, God damn it, get a hold of yourselves. Calling, if you generally fall into that category, God damn it, get a hold of yourselves. Acknowledge that this is a problem. But what my critique for D.L. Hughley there would be go deeper. Where do the marching orders come from? Because I tell you, what does Fredo on TV say? All right, I'm gonna do a little Fredo on TV. I guarantee it. I stand by it. If the angry red-faced white dude retires from politics, they will be replaced immediately by the angry red-faced Asian dude or whatever the hell can be tricked into filling that role. And if you think you're immune from it, this is a new soapbox I'm pulling out because it's going to be important. Because get ready for multiracial fascism. It's coming. I promise you. There's going to be a rainbow alliance of the worst human beings. If you think you're immune from it because you're not white, first of all, congratulations. You just did a racism. It happens to me all the time. It happens to everybody a lot, and it tends to get noticed more when white people do it. Rightly so, because, we really leaned into it. Ooh, boy. But if you think you're immune from it because of your race, congratulations, you did a racism, and you're not. Look at, what was it? Who was it? Spice? No, not Sugar and Spice. Who were those two ladies? The black ladies that were like massive supporters of Donald Trump. Damn it, I don't remember who they were. They were a great act too. But yeah, no, you're not. You're not. It's there are black Trump supporters. There are always Candace Owens, for example. There are always people on your supposed team, people that look like you, that will energetically work against what you view as your interests. Not immune to it. Nobody is. There's just an existing infrastructure for racist, angry red-faced white dudes to be made into racists if necessary. They'll do the same thing with any group of people. So we got to nip that in the bud. And it is, frankly, just rich. I'll tell you what. I'm going to unmask this Scooby-Doo villain, and it's going to bum you out because it's going to be the same unmasking every time. It's rich people trying to get poor people to fight each other. That's it. They happen to find, for whatever reason, and we all need to search our souls for why this works. But they happen to find that racial issues work really well for riling us up. So do anything having to do with sex. We get uncomfortable. We don't know how to deal with it. If somebody has a difference in that way, really easy to convince people that they're also dangerous. But look, understand, it's rich people trying to get everybody else, trying to get normal people to fight each other. That's all it ever is. Every mother time. That is what it is. It's like 6 degrees of separation. You don't always need the full 6, but you never need more than 6. That's what it is. What is it this time under that KKK hood? Angry red-faced white dude. But if you rip off that, look in the brain matter there, the ideas came from rich people trying to get everybody else to fight each other. That's it. And it sucks. If you are MAGA, if you have a different opinion, if you are traditional Republican, and I presume you every Sunday pray to a giant pile of money, that was a gag. But if you disagree, tell me, and I'll be fascinated to see. Oh, Patrick, my man. Okay, we're gonna do one here. Please tell me this. Yes! Okay, so I saw. I guarantee you that was Patrick Thibodeau. Let me jump into the chat again. Yes, it was. All right. So delighted to report that the link sharing system we have set up works. Patrick Thibodeau, you, sir, are the pioneer of it. I'm going to figure out a title to give you. We're going to read some comments, but I do want to tease the section we're about to do. I saw earlier today that Mehdi Hassan was on the Majority Report, and unfortunately, I was well hungover, so I didn't see it, but I've been champing at the bit to look at it, and I'm so glad that you found the clip and put it in here. Patrick Thibodeau, hell yeah. Let's read some comments from that last section. The buckle of the Bible Belt. Ooh, that's a good way to put it, Patrick. Mars Falcon says Oklahoma is okay. I read it on an official state document on the bumper of a pickup trucks. I know it's true. Catherine Wolf says, okay, never mind. That was in reference to something else. Yes, thank you guys. Foxy and Mars Falcon worked together and remembered their name. It's Diamond and Silk. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, there will absolutely, as long as that source is there, which is rich people with an undue amount of power looking to keep it or expand it, that we will always magically have opposition to decency. Forever. We have to curb the power of the rich. Doesn't mean we can't have rich people. In fact, I think there should always be space in society for having somebody rewarded for being especially productive. And we call that essentially being rich. But we need to make sure you are not rewarded for just being a sneaky bastard. Patrick Thibodeau says, my family was very religious, but Northern Irish Protestants, so a little different. I grew up in the church, but I am kind of glad I did. I am well equipped to argue with fake Christians. Hell yeah. It's the fake Christians that piss me off, frankly, the most. Because even the people that tried to genuinely, convert me, like literally would take a Saturday to talk to me if I said I was willing to talk. With their heart in the right place, I found that we could have conversations. Not always terribly productive, but like the intent was there, and that was enough. So I agree. It is the person that's got a Bible that's never once been creased that I worry about.